To order. Sergeant Arms will secure the doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, this morning we are very pleased to have the Reverend Dr. Ed Kay from St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church in Lutherville, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from District 42. Members, please rise for the invocation.
Thank you for the privilege of being here today. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we are grateful for this day, for the crisp, cool winter air that greets us in the morning, for the gaining light of the day, giving us reassurance that spring and new life is slowly but certainly on the way, for the possibility and opportunity that the minutes and hours ahead bring to serve our neighbor and care for this world. Thank you for this day. Generous Creator, thank you for this world in which we live, for the diversity of terrain across our land, mountain and ocean, prairie and bay, open meadow and dense forest, for the abundance of plants and animals who call this planet their home, and for all that lives in our beloved state of Maryland and her surrounding region. May we tend to the call to faithfully steward all that you have made. Encourage our words and deeds to protect vulnerable species and renew fragile ecosystems. Thank you for this land and for our ancestors who have tended it to this day. Beloved friend, thank you for our neighbor, for those closest to us, and for the stranger we will never meet, for those connected to us by blood and those whom we choose to call family, for those who come into our lives for many seasons and those whom we barely have come to know. In the vast array of people in this world, the fullness and complexity of humanity is present before us. May we tend to the needs of one another as you care for us. Use us to carry healing and hope to our neighbor who suffers, who grieves, who hungers, who longs for wholeness and dignity. Thank you for one another, binding us to each other in this time and place. And loving Provider, thank you for the gifts that you have given to each of us, for the time to care for the important needs of our state, for the particular talents needed to work through policy and practice to govern our society, for the resources shared and stewarded for the needs of our neighbor. We especially pray this day for these public servants gathered to lead on our behalf. We are grateful for their service and pray that you would sustain them in their work this day and throughout this session. May they continue to be mindful of the needs of all of the people of Maryland for whom they work, especially the most vulnerable in our midst. Bless them with wisdom and understanding, patience and good counsel, humility and strength. May they know love as they show love in their words and their work. For all of this, and all that is on our minds and in our hearts this day, we pray for your presence and for your peace, in your beloved and holy name. Amen.
All right, the chair recognizes the senator from the 42nd District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pastor Ed Kay has been serving as the pastor for St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church since 2015. It's in Lutherville, and many people have heard of Lutherville, but many people probably do not know that Lutherville was a Lutheran community settled in the mid-19th century. And it was named for the Lutheran church, which was built in its midst. The original church was built in 1853, and Pastor Kay has been serving as the pastor now since 2015. He's a graduate of Delaney High School, and the big news in his life is he's getting married this October, and instantaneously upon marriage, they will be a family with 7 teenage children.
Whew. Whew.
I move we journalize the prayer.
God bless him. God bless him. Without objection, we will certainly journalize the wonderful invocation this morning. Thank you, Senator, for inviting the Reverend to join us today. All right, has everyone recorded their presence in the chamber? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. Chair recognizes the senator from the 40th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. And good morning, colleagues. Glad to be back here in the chamber today. Yesterday, we had really good news from my wife. Baby is healthy and going on. No, thank you. But 2 days ago, when I stood here in the chamber, I kind of overreached, right? So I am so blessed and honored to be a member of this body and appreciate the opportunity that I have to serve. And I'm committed and submit to the rules of this chamber. And the other day I overreached, and hopefully you don't see that anymore. So for all of my colleagues and to this body and the institution which we stand for, I humbly submit to the rules of this body. But I do want to be clear in that, I am the son of Sonia Pinky Hayes, who every day I walk into this chamber and I wear her ashes around my neck underneath this shirt. And one of the things that my mom has taught me, and generations ahead of me, is when you see injustice, you need to speak up and stand up about it. And so I don't apologize for speaking what I perceive as being injustices in our society. I will continue to do that as I always have. But I think there's, as I think the president said yesterday, there's a time and place for everything. And so I'm committed to making sure that I carry myself in a way that's honorable in this body. And so thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator. It is very much appreciated. And look, this is, we all have stuff, right? And so we learn to live with each other and manage through everything. So onwards we go. Other introductions. Yes, Chair recognizes the co-chair of the Protocol Committee.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have 2 pages with us today. So let me present to you Samuel Chernoff from Charles County District 28, from Maurice J. McDonough High School, and Isra Kadri from Montgomery County District 15, Thomas Sprigg Wooten High School. So please give them a big round of applause.
Welcome.
We are so honored to have you both with us today, and to all of our pages who are out there participating with us virtually, but you get this special opportunity today. So take every opportunity that you have to get to know us and to meet with your legislators from your district. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Madam Co-Chair, and thank you, Pages, for joining us. It is such a pleasure to see those gray jackets in use on the sides of the chamber, and we can't wait till we get the full cohorts eventually here. Yes, Chair recognizes the senator from District 10.
I'd like to invite the Pages, if they have time in the afternoon, to visit us in Senate Finance. We have not only a briefing, but hearings and some voting. You might want to come to a voting session to see what your legislators do when it's time to make.
Thank you so much, Senator. Then that's a great invitation. Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair recognizes the co-chair of the Protocol Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my honor today to introduce our doctor of the day, Dr. Mike Nyhoff. He has a family practice in District 7, and we are so grateful to have you here today, and I'd like to just thank you and all the doctors who serve us during this difficult time. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for being here with us. Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. With me in the gallery today above the President is a young man who has been my intern from last spring, all summer, last fall, and he is wrapping up. And next week, he's starting a new gig. He is going to be a page in the U.S. Capitol. I recommended him to U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen, our friend and ally, and he was selected. So Matthew Kiviat, who is only a junior at Clarksburg High School, he has a great future in front of him, and we have loved working with you. Thank you, Matthew.
Wonderful. Welcome, Matthew. And get a preview of what's to come down the street. Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Charles County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I also want to congratulate the Pages for being here, and especially our page from Charles County North Point High School, Sam Chernoff. I had the honor of delivering a Senate resolution representing all members to his Eagle Scout ceremony last year. So, distinguished young man, distinguished gentleman, I just want to say congratulations to you and make sure he realized that all members here congratulated him during that recognition ceremony.
Absolutely. Well said, Senator. Thank you. Any other introductions? Chair recognizes the Senator from College Park.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I have two guests. I have my Chief of Staff, Owen Kahn.
Hello, Owen.
He was there, but have a round of applause for Owen anyway.
Yes, thank you, Owen.
He's a graduate of the University of Maryland, came to work for me 2 years ago after my longtime Chief of Staff, Carolyn Brosh, who some of you knew, who had come to work with me right out of school. And she got married and she had a baby and she decided to take some time off to raise her daughter. So
Wonderful. Owen
Owen came to work with me, he's doing a great job. My other guest is Denise Valaderos, who is in the gallery right above the president.
Hello, Denise. Welcome, Denise.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Denise and what she's doing. She's not an intern, she's an employee. She is our deputy community liaison for the 21st District. She is a senior at Albert Einstein High School in Montgomery County. She's a participant in the Trans-Ed Academy for Working Students, an innovative program in Montgomery County for high school students who work. She is taking one class at Albert Einstein this year, 4 classes, I'm sorry the chair of EHE is not here, online, there he is, online, at Montgomery College, and she will graduate this spring with her AA degree.
Wow.
Exactly. She's doing a great job for the last year with our community groups. She is the embodiment of the vision of the Kirwan Law, which is dual enrollment, early college, apprenticeship. And so I wanted to introduce her because she's doing a great job. Wanted to come down here. But I want to make the point that I think we can see the future of what we're all trying to do for our high school students and the young people in Maryland. Thank you, Mr. President.
Very good. Thank you, Senator. Thank you. Wonderful. That's excellent. All right, other introductions? Other introductions? If not, 2 administrative notes. Let me do the most administrative. A reminder that we need to show state ID when entering the State House. This is for security purposes, so a Senate PIN is not sufficient. It requires a actual ID, the Senate ID. So just a reminder there that the PIN is not sufficient identification. Other one is a little bit more sad and hopeful at the same time. Many of you all may have heard that former Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam had a health event while she was away on a relaxation vacation in Florida. Want to make sure that everyone knows that the Senate has sent her flowers and recovery message. I believe she is now being transferred from the hospital to a rehab facility, and so she's improving and is better than she was certainly last week. So just keep her in your hearts and prayers, and she's a fighter if there ever were one. So we know that she's gonna push her way through, but just a scary moment for one of our Senate family members. And I think she probably wouldn't mind if people reached out, gave some encouraging words. So appreciate that. All right. Any further introductions or announcements before we jump in? If not, so we consider the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. First order of business is the introduction of Senate bills. We are moving along. Clerk will read the bills.
Senate Bill 446, Senator Wallstreicher, Public Safety, Fire Rescue, or Emergency Medical Services, Entities, Peer Support Programs, JPR.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bills. Bills will be assigned to their appropriate standing committee. Clerk will read the next calendar.
Senate Bill 476, Senator Hester, Alcoholic Beverages, Manufacturer's Licenses, and Off-Site Permits, Sunset Extension, EHE. Senate Bill 477, Senator Hester, Office of the Comptroller, Legal Division and Private Letter Ruling Procedures, B&T.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bills. They will be assigned to the appropriate standing committees. We've crossed 500, up to 503. 503. All right. Next, we've got a Senate Joint Resolution. Clerk will read the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution 6, Senator Bailey, Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, Atlanta, Menhaden, Prohibition on Commercial Reduction Fishing, EHE.
All right, the resolution will be sent to Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs. We've got additional Senate bond initiatives. Clerk will read the bond initiatives.
Senator McCray, Roberta's House. Senator McCray, Hamilton EMS Play Yard. Howard County Senators, Rockburn Branch Park.
Majority Leader moves, so be considered the reading of the bills. Howard County is loading up this calendar here. Bills will be referred to the Capital Subcommittee. We've got another round of bond initiatives. Clerk will read bond initiatives number 8.
Howard County Senators, the Howard County Conservancy, Howard County Senators, Centennial Park, West Area Playground.
Majority Leader moves, so be considered the reading of the bills. They'll be referred to the Capital Subcommittee. All right, we've got some second readers. We are getting back in it. Let's do the Committee on Judicial Proceedings, Report 1. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 172, Chair, Judicial Proceedings Committee, Department of Juvenile Services Facilities. J. DeWeese Carter Center, favorable.
Chair recognizes the Vice Chair of the Committee as the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. This departmental bill repeals obsolete references, including to the J. DeWeese Carter Center, in statutory provisions that authorize the Department of Juvenile Services to establish and operate facilities. There are no committee amendments. Mr. President, I move the favorable committee report.
Floor leader moves for the adoption of the favorable committee report. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say yea. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report is adopted. Are there any amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 172 is hereby ordered printed for third reading. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 198, Chair, Judicial Proceedings Committee, Correctional Officer, Death Benefit, Eligibility, favorable with one amendment.
All right, Chair recognizes the senator from Baltimore County and City as the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 198 is also a departmental bill which authorizes the Secretary of Public Safety and Correctional Services on a case-by-case basis to award a public safety death benefit if additional evidence later arises that the decedent's death was resulted from an act that was committed against the decedent by another due to the nature of that decedent's job. There was one amendment. The amendment number 1 clarifies the retroactivity of this provision of this bill to remove limitations on its retroactive application. Mr. President, I move the adoption of this bill and its amendments for a favorable committee report.
Floor leader moves for the adoption of the one committee amendment and the favorable committee report. First, we'll take up the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? All in favor say yea. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The one committee amendment is adopted. Question now is on the favorable committee report as amended. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the amended favorable report say yea. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report as amended is adopted. Are there any amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 198 is hereby ordered printed for third reader. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 214, Chair, Judicial Proceedings Committee, Child Abuse and Neglect, Disclosure of Reports and Records, favorable.
Chair recognizes the chair of the committee as the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. This departmental bill expands the circumstances under which a report or a record of child abuse or neglect of certain personnel can be disclosed to the licensed child care facility or child placement agency. So essentially, for example, if you have a home that a child placement agency contracts with, if there's an allegation of neglect or abuse, this captures all of the individuals that allegation could have been made of. So there are no amendments, Mr. President. The bill passed unanimously. I'd ask for adoption of the favorable committee report.
Floor leader moves for the adoption of the favorable committee report. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say yea. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report is adopted. Are there any amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 214 is hereby ordered printed for third reader. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 218, Chair, Judicial Proceedings Committee, Vehicle Laws, Driver's Licenses, and Identification Cards, Temporary Renewal, favorable.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 42nd District as the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. This departmental bill authorizes the Motor Vehicle Administration to issue a temporary renewal for a driver's license or identification card for up to 2 years for certain applicants. The individuals for whom MVA may make a temporary renewal available include an active duty member of the Armed Forces, a member of the Foreign Service of the United States, a Maryland resident who's a student studying outside the state, and a Maryland resident who's temporarily residing outside the state for at least 6 months. The committee passed this bill unanimously. There are no committee amendments. I hereby move the body accept the favorable committee report.
Floor leader moves for the adoption of the favorable committee report. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say yea. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report is adopted. Are there any amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 218 is hereby ordered, printed for third reader. A little bit related, I don't know if senators have been getting this. I've had a number of constituent messages come in about temporary tags not being able to be fulfilled and being renewed over and over and over again. They can't get the actual permanent tag. So something we got to look into. It's sort of bubbled in this last month. The temporary tags just keep getting extended. So got to figure out what's going on there. All right. I think that does it for the calendar, Madam Clerk. Is that correct? I believe so. All right. So we have the special order calendar. This is calendar number 2. Clerk, read the bill.
Senate Bill 205, Chair Finance Committee, Division of Workforce Development and Adult Learning, Apprenticeship and Training Council, Sunset Extension. Bill is on second reading and open to amendment.
All right. On second reading, Chair recognizes the Chair of the committee.
Thank you. Senate Bill 205 is a departmental bill that extends the termination date of the Maryland Apprenticeship and Training Council and the designation of the Division of Workforce Development and Adult Learning as the designated state apprenticeship agency from July 1, 2024 to July 1, 2034. There are no amendments, no fiscal impact. There was no opposition at the committee hearing. I move the adoption of the favorable committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe we've adopted. So right now, I think we've adopted. Let's make sure we're correct. We've adopted the favorable report. So we're up on amendment. Chair recognizes the senator from Prince George's County. Have an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I asked that we move to recommit Senate Bill 205 back to Senate Finance. We just have some things we need to work out.
All right. Senator has requested to recommit the bill. Let's check with the chair. Chair.
I don't think the bill needs a recommission. Senator from Prince George has offered us an amendment the other day.
No amendment was offered.
Well, as it turned out,
there was the intent of maybe an amendment.
So the recommission is really not necessary. They're thinking, because there was discussion of a possible amendment on the floor, that is required. But this bill is ready to go.
All right. Does the senator wish to withdraw the motion?
Yes, sir.
All right. Senator withdraws the motion. Chair recognizes the senator from the 21st District.
Thank you. The chair is absolutely right. The amendment that was drafted yesterday was wrong, and I have a corrected amendment that I'd like to offer.
The senator has an amendment. Could the senator please read the amendment number?
The amendment number is 753725.
All right, give us one moment. Let's, if you could.
Thank you.
All right. So we have pages, so we can actually hand out an amendment.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
give us just a moment.
That's great.
We're getting the grease on the wheels again. You know, we actually have a page. We weren't sure if we'd have an amendment for real. You know, now we do. This is kicking the dust off. No centipods. Give us just a moment, Senator.
Yeah, sure, of course.
We're getting there. All right. Looks like we have it on the board as well. Senator may proceed in explaining the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I just want to apologize to the chair of the committee and the entire Senate for the confusion over this amendment. As you know, I do a lot of work on apprenticeship issues, and this is the agency that manages apprenticeships. And we have a variety of legislation this year to scale up apprenticeships that I'm working with a number of members on in different areas. Given that this is the regulatory agency, it seems to me that we should go a little slow in terms of reauthorizing the agency and its current powers, which are historical, without looking at the future of apprenticeships. The bill, as it came to the floor, extends the life of the agency for 10 years. It has to be extended because the current law, authority expires in 2024. What this amendment does is simply give us a little more breathing space over the next couple of years. So what it does, instead of extending the current agency's powers and responsibilities for 10 years, it extends it for 1 year. So what the amendment says is that the agency's current structure and powers will be extended to 2025 instead of to 2034. And the amendment that I had yesterday, that the chairman and I were confused about, or I was confused about, was misdrafted and extended it to 2035. So this is the right amendment. It extends it by 1 year instead of 10 years to give us some time to make the improvements that we need to make in our apprenticeship system, and I move the amendment.
Senators move the amendment. Senator, the chair would entertain maybe a motion to lay the bill over so that we can make sure that we're all in the same place. Chair recognizes Chair of Finance.
The maker of the amendment has discussed it with me. I don't think it does any harm, and I don't see anything.
No problems with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Senators move the amendment. Any further discussion on the amendment? If not, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. Are there any further amendments to the bill or its title? Hearing none, Senate Bill 205 is hereby ordered printed for third reader. All right. Let's do a quorum call. We've got a couple third readers.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, Senate of Maryland remains in session. We've got third reading calendar number 2. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 191, Chair Finance, Maryland Department of Commerce, Transparency, and Efficiency in Reporting Act.
All right, Senate Bill 191 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 191, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed, and Finance apparently is the official winner. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 219, Chair Finance Committee, Office of Cemetery Oversight, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 219 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 219, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, Senators, that was the desk is officially clear. So we are moving along. Let's do committee announcements. Chair recognizes the Chair of Finance.
Thank you. Finance Committee will meet at 1 p.m. for a fiscal briefing, followed by bill hearings at 2 p.m., and that will be followed by a voting session. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair recognizes the Chair of Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs will welcome the new, although he's been around now 6 or 8 months, Superintendent of Schools, Mohammed Chaudhry, at 1. That'll be followed by a cybersecurity briefing with the Maryland Cybersecurity Council, which will then be followed by a voting session. I believe we have 15 bills on the list.
Important stuff there. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair recognizes the Chair of Budget and Taxation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Subcommittees are going to start work now. And today at 1 o'clock, both Health and Human Services and Public Safety will begin their briefings. And I assume we're going to be in pro forma tomorrow. So,
and Monday.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we have Education and Health at 10:30 tomorrow morning, and Public Safety at 11:30.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair recognizes the Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. Judicial Proceedings will convene at 1 p.m. for a briefing on the JJRC recommendations. That'll be followed by 2 bill hearings. We have over 70 witnesses already signed up, so strap on. And tomorrow, since we're going to be in pro forma session, we'll have that's
Pro
right?
forma for sure tomorrow and Monday.
Okay. So we'll do voting on Friday morning tomorrow at 9:30.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, yes, Chair recognizes the Chair of the Baltimore County Delegation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder, today at 4 o'clock, Dr. Williams will be here to speak with the delegation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair recognizes the chair of the Anne Arundel County delegation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Anne Arundel County Senators, we're meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow via Zoom. We have 3 bills to take up and hopefully vote on. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. All right, any further? Yes, chair recognizes the chair of the Southern Maryland delegation.
It's a personal privilege.
Let's do a few more announcements, Senator, and we'll just. Chair recognizes the senator or chair of the Baltimore City delegation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Baltimore City delegation will meet at 9 a.m. virtually.
9 a.m. tomorrow. All right, thank you, Senator. All right, any other announcements? Delegations, standing committees, joint committees? Nope. Okay. All right. Appears not. Any other announcements? Yes, chair recognizes senator from the 27th district.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Maryland State Senate Veterans Caucus will be meeting at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, February 2nd. Emails will go out to everyone with the information on connecting, and everyone is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. First Veterans Caucus of the year, up and running. Thank you. All right. Any further? Chair recognizes senator from District 28.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, as most of you know, I'm an immigrant to this country, not born here. This country offered me so many opportunities, and most of them came through educational opportunities from public schools, from elementary school through University of Maryland College Park, City University of New York Graduate School, public schools, tremendous opportunity. And as you know, I talk about my children quite a bit. My wife instilled the same values in them. I got a call from my son a couple of days ago saying, hey, Dad, make sure this day in May is set aside. I'm graduating from Brown with my master's. It's called a transitional master's because he'll move on straight to his PhD. So he said, I know you'll be busy with other stuff. So basically, save the date. I want you here. And, you know, my children, my daughter, son, myself, my family, tremendous opportunities educationally. And so I couldn't sleep well last night because we had a briefing yesterday, and $125 million being cut from Baltimore City Public Schools and Prince George's County Public Schools by the administration. It really troubles me. Very little things trouble me. I sleep well at night mainly, but that is deeply troubling to me. We had that briefing yesterday, and I just want to say, as a body, we have to think how we can counter that, to say unacceptable for the neediest in these jurisdictions will suffer a cut in funding like that. Unacceptable to me, and I hope we as a body can find a fix for it for the neediest of these. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. I'm sure the budget committees will be deep into the weeds this year. Thank you very much. We've got a lot of nooks and crannies to be reviewing this year in the budget. All right. Any other announcements? Chair recognizes the senator from Prince George's County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I rise today and I'm struggling a little bit. A friend of mine who was the mayor of Hyattsville took his own life on Tuesday. His name's Kevin Ward, Scooter, he goes by, and by self-inflicted gunshot, actually. And this is, it's hard. The Senate President has mentioned how so many of us, almost daily, he mentions that so many people are going through so many things, and that we need to really be aware of that. I'm going to ask for y'all's indulgence with me today if I'm a little short. As I was telling one of our colleagues, I was a little short earlier this morning with someone. And it's hard. It's hard for all of us. Scooter was a wonderful public servant. He was a very good friend. He was also a unique individual, like a unicorn. He was the first, openly gay black man, mayor of Hyattsville, unapologetic, a tech entrepreneur who had tats up and down his arms, all over his body. I mean, this was just such an interesting individual who was all about looking out for people, being inclusive in his city of Hyattsville, and in Maryland. I'm going to miss him. The people of the city of Hyattsville are going to miss them. The state of Maryland is going to miss them, and I would ask that we adjourn in honor of the late mayor of Hyattsville, Kevin Scooter Ward. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator, and certainly we will adjourn in his honor. And look, we're here with you too. Tough times right now, really, really hard. And the work that we're doing on this telehealth and mental health, we just have so much work to do, so much work to do. All right, let's do Chair recognizes the senator from the 21st District.
If I could, Mr. President, on the same issue of Kevin Ward. Hyattsville's in my district, and Kevin and I spoke last week about bond bills. We're talking about the needs of the town and which bond bills and which project. They're building a new police facility, a teen center. And again, we didn't talk every day. We were friends. But you don't know. You don't know. And we all know, many of us know Jamie Raskin, Congressman Raskin, who served here and sat back there where Senator Lamb sat. And his son took his life a year ago, and he didn't see any signs, and everyone starts to think about, why didn't we know? And you frequently don't know. It's kept inside and people act normally. And clearly I have no solution, and I think everyone sort of, rents their shirts and coats. What do we do? How do we stop this? And we have to be more aware of it, and obviously there are programs, and we have to pay more concern, but we see it more and more frequently. And it's, in many cases undiagnosed and unrecognized, and this is just another example of that. A fascinating guy. We've gotten to know each other more. They adopted a couple of kids, and he was in the car with his son, and that was just a week ago, and then I heard about it from somebody yesterday morning or 2 days ago, whenever it happened. But it's unfortunate we're hearing more and more of these incidents from people we know, and that's the sad situation. And on some policies, whether it's energy or apprenticeship, we know the obvious solutions. But sadly, we don't know on this one. There's more studies being done, and we can reflect on it and be sad, and we just have to pay more attention to it as much as we can. But we in the 22nd District will also mourn the loss of Kevin Ward.
Thank you for that reflection, Senator. All right, let's do a quorum call before we adjourn.
Mr. President,
has everyone recorded their presence? If so, clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber, quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to remind the body that tomorrow is a pro forma session, so you do not have to come, except that the Minority Leader and I will represent you well. We'll be here at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I did want to give you advance notice that Monday we will have a pro forma session at 4 o'clock, so that you don't have to be here at 8 o'clock either on Monday night. Okay? So I move that the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned to a pro forma session on Friday, January 28th at 10 a.m. and adjourning today in memory of Kevin Scooter Ward.
Without objection, so ordered. Thank you all. Stay safe this weekend. Reach out if you need help. Take care.